Welcome everybody to the much-awaited, fantastic matchup we have before us today: Zenith versus CLG. Oh boy, Loda facing off against his former team, CLG. He used to be the captain, he is no longer. I am LD of dotacommentaries.com, and joining me is the one and only Luminous, although I actually just realized I can't hear him, so give me just 1 second, I will bring him in. Uh,
I'm not speaking. Is that why you can't hear me?
No, I forgot to turn on my virtual audio cable, but the good news is we should be all set in just 1 second. Oh man, I totally killed the flow there. Sorry about that, guys. But I am here. Luminous is joining me, and Lumi, what more is there to say to hype up this match? I feel it just speaks for itself. We're moving through the draft rather quickly. Prophet going to be the first pick here for Zenith.
Well, if this game needs a little bit more hype, it's going to come from the Zenith side. Very, very known for not banning anything or just picking random stuff. Of course, Loda versus former team is always a good hype. I'm pretty hyped despite being 5:30 in the morning or whatever the time is right now.
Oh man, off the bat, it's a Lycan for CLG. Now, before everybody says, oh, CLG have this one, they got Lycan, some stats for you guys. Lycan is winning less than 30% of his games across this entire tournament. And more specifically, Zenith is a team that has a really high win rate against Lycan. They've given him away in multiple tournaments, and overall, they just seem to have no problems dealing with the hero. Now, that being said, this is pajkatt, Lycan, not any old schmuck. One of the best in the business. Windrunner is picked up, and then Zenith going for that global strat. Tinker as well as Prophet. Oh boy.
Yeah, Tinker Prophet has been doing a lot of work lately. It's just, once you get a foothold in the game, you're not losing the game. That's how it feels like. You never could push across the map. They're so mobile. They're so powerful as a hero. But they also kind of put you in a ditch. You're never gonna just transition out of these heroes. You're committed to Prophet as well as Tinker. They both eat up a lot of farm, and in terms of raw right click, they don't offer you too much. I know Prophet could get some right click DPS in late game, but aside from that, they are gonna be turtling for the most part. Perhaps that's the way to deal against Lycan. Let's see if it's going to be effective.
Yeah, you know, what we've seen a lot from teams recently is especially having this Tinker on the field. Even when Lycan gets his core items up, let's say the Necro Book level 1, the Vlads, maybe a pair of power trades, and starts split pushing. Tinker TPs in behind the tower, drops a couple waves of March the Machine, and that's not even counting the Prophet, but just those March, that'll be enough to sort of wipe out the push. Maybe the Necro will survive, maybe the tower falls, but it takes Lycan a lot longer. It frees up the team to go for some good trades elsewhere. And also having Prophet on the field, you can try and gank this Lycan before he hits 6, before he gets those core items. Still, don't underestimate the power of that hero. If he gets a good start, if he gets out of hand, it can be trouble. And CLG, love the way they're drafting around him. We saw this yesterday, Lumi. Picking heroes that are very strong solos, aren't going to need any help, because Lycan is a hero that already needs support from his team to get through those first 10 minutes of the game.
Well, I'm not sure if you want to refer to yesterday's game and try to make too much of it, because yesterday there was a quad lane bot, so all bets are off, and Lycan got free farm that game. I'm not sure whether Zenith will actually give them that here. I really like this Shaker third pick, considering that you are a little bit defensive from the get-go. Also, Earthshaker Fissure really put an emphasis on Lycan to get a BKB. And perhaps that's not what you want to get this game. You talked about Necrobook as one of the more obvious choices, but BKB is... I feel like if you don't get BKB this game, there is Sprout, which is not going to do too much. There's Blind, which is going to do quite a bit from the laser. And there's an Earthshaker Fissure. It's just such an annoying spell that even if sometimes the stun isn't too effective by itself, the fact that you have to loop around that big crevice on the earth is just enough. That's just enough to kind of neuter you and your right clicks.
Right, not to mention Tinker and as well as Prophet, often seen going for Scythe of Vice. Occasionally we'll even see that utility item on a Tinker like a Yule Scepter. And these sorts of things are very aggravating for Lycan. BKB would be the only way to deal with them directly, so we'll see where they go from here. Both teams have their flexibility with lanes. Lycan can jungle, Prophet can as well. Tinker, nowadays we see him more often in that safe lane. Probably he'll be protected by Earthshaker. But of course that could change, and it really depends on how these teams want to go with the rest of the draft. CLG bans out an Enigma, and I do like this choice, that Black Hole going through Lycan's BKB, even if he gets one. Also the great pushing, the farming, and even more laning flexibility for Zenith if they get their hands on that. Instead, they go for Keeper of the Light, so I mean, it's fair to call this a global strat at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's global. It gets, if they pick up a Phantom Lancer, it'll be crazy insane. You have a trialing of PL keeper as well as the shaker. You have the tinker mid, which we don't see too often. We have prophet bot. Something that I don't expect here, but it can happen. Definitely can happen. If you look at Zenith's ban, they seem to be afraid of the initiation. Ventral swap is really good way to kind of break into this team, as well as a blink dagger epicenter going in to initiate the team fight. Zenith not really capable of dealing with big AoE ultimates. I feel like all they have is a shaker to deal with it, and I don't think that's enough. So it comes down to the last pick, but I feel like Zenith wants to turtle a little bit. And I don't think that's what Zenith usually likes to do. It's kind of strange.
We'll have to see. I mean, like you said, if you pick up a PL or really any carry that gives you good chasing power, that combos really well, and that can be a very aggressive early game tri lane. Tinker, sure, you'd like to get the boots of travel. You'd like to farm up those big items, but he can apply pressure pretty early on. Same with the Prophet. So I would not be surprised at all if Zenith played this incredibly aggressively, even something as crazy as an offensive tri lane. But we'll have to see. It really does depend on this last pick, which way they're going to want to go. For CLG, they have basically all three of their core farmers, the Lycan, the Windrunner, the Invoker. Perhaps Windrunner could be that secondary support, but it's not normally what we see. Certainly not out of CLG. And I guess the question is, if they're going for that sort of... What? Are you serious? I say global, but I didn't think they were going to go this far into it. Oh, man. Spectre is the final pick, supported by the Earthshaker and the Keeper of the Light. Lots of mana for him. Lots of offensive firepower, I want to say. And, oh, that mid-game, that global ganking option for Zenith is pretty ridiculous.
Okay. I have a question for you, LD, and perhaps this question could be extended to the viewers. Do you guys think about it at home? Who the hell is Keeper of the Light going to recall?
Earthshaker. That's it.
Well, I mean, right.
That's
but
it.
You know, he's gonna TP, right? But who the hell is he really gonna recall in a team fight, right? Just think about that for a second. I guess you have, this is where you have so much TP spell that you actually might want to skip teleport scroll in certain cases if you're actually really short in terms of inventory items. Also, it could be said that there is some very strong late game potential. Buyback into Haunt, buyback into Recall. I mean,
it's pretty insane, actually.
Right now. This is pretty sick stuff from Zenith.
As far as intelligence heroes go, Prophet and Tinker are probably the two strongest in the game. Maybe you can make an argument for Storm, Obsidian Destroyer, but these are two of the very best late-game intelligence heroes, as well as Spectre. I mean, as far as agility carries go, I wouldn't say he's the hardest carry in the game, but he is up there, and most of these CLG heroes are going to kill themselves trying to fight him if he gets the big items up. CLG, go in on sort of that mid-game aggression. Nightstalker going to be the final hero pick for them. A lot of gank power for these guys, a lot of mobility around the map. Sure, they don't have a global option, but they might as well, between the Lycan's true form, the Nightstalker speed and with Hunter in the night, Windrunner with Windrun, probably that Force Staff as well, and even Invoker usually going for the mobility on. So CLG, they have their own mobility. We'll have to see if Zenith, who's actually going to be outmaneuver each other in this game. What a clash in styles, I gotta say.
I'm gonna have to shatter some dreams here. I really have to shatter some dreams. This is a global lineup that's not really involved with hero killing. I mean, they do have some hero killing potential when you have, Rocket Laser, Wrath of Nature, and things of that nature. Yeah, that was intended.
There you go.
But it's not a Zeus. It's not an Ancient Apparition. It's not a Clockwork. You don't actually kill hero. I mean, again, you can. It's just not going to be the focus. The focus is neither big AoE team fights. Again, you have Haunt, you have Fissure, but that's pretty much it. I think they just really want to go all over the map and push towers. Again, they were afraid of initiation. They're going for a little bit turtling team. They want to be able to push and not lose too many towers on their own. So having things like Prophet and having things like Keeper of Light is helpful. This is not your standard global. I've never seen a global like this. And if anyone can pull something off like this, it's going to be Zenith. They are red hot lately in the Dota scene. And let's see if they're going to pull a crazy one.
This is a team that 3-0'd LGD. And, I mean, you cannot underestimate them. And LGD, one of the very best teams in Asia. As of late, even, they've been doing quite well, despite dropping to 2-0 to EG. So, let's introduce our players while we have a moment. Mirakel going to be playing that Nightstalker. Looks like it'll be a Lacoste Windrunner, so not going to see Miracle reprising that role. Misery on the Invoker, pajkatt on the Lycan, and Akke going to be playing that Crystal Maiden.
Misery playing the Invoker instead of Windrunner. Right? Remember what happened yesterday? His shackles are insane. Just want to reiterate that. If you didn't watch those games, Joe, check it out. It's going to be on VODs. I don't know dotacommentaries.com or on LD's channel. But right now, it's going to be Zenith XY playing the Shaker, iceiceice on the Spectre, Loda playing the Nature's Prophet, hyhy on the Tinker, and xfreedom playing the Keeper. Nothing too crazy to talk about at this point, although Tinker has a circlet, not something we see too common. Is he going Dagon?
Yeah, I mean, that's always the thought, right? Get that early null talisman into a Dagon. We'll have to see. Sometimes Tinkers will just get a single null talisman for the regen. Or not for the regen, but for the increased mana pool. He is very mana dependent. Looks like Loda will be going to the top lane. Probably going to be soloing that. HY headed mid on the Tinker. xfreedom playing that hard support, Keeper of the Light. And, I mean, he has made a big investment here in those support items. Picks up a pair of Observer Wards, bought the Courier. I don't think he bought these sentries, but they were pulled over to him, I believe, by XY. Yes, they were. Still, he spent a lot of gold on these items, and he really does have to. As you look at Zenith's lineup, a lot of heroes that require items and farm, even Earthshaker for support. This is not a Crystal Maiden. You need those Arcane Boots, at least a couple of null talismans. And ideally you want your Blink Dagger too, so a lot of emphasis will be on xfreedom to really carry the support load for his team.
Yeah, I mean, going back to the Shaker, what does he really need, right? All he needs is level 1 for Fissure, and he's got it, so he's going to stay back and try to lich EXP, try to not to die too much.
Right, that's true.
I wonder how the Zenith squad is going to play the spot lane. It's going to be such an offensive tri lane they're facing down on the enemy side, right? It's going to be Windrunner, Night Stalker, as well as Crystal Maiden, but to be honest, a single Fissure and Illuminate, that will actually just kill, or at least remove half of Windrunner and Crystal Maiden's HP. So perhaps they're okay with this. I'm not sure how much farm Spectre's going to get, but they shouldn't be too worried about the diving potential of this enemy trialing. I know that's crazy because there's a Night Stalker, but still.
It feels like one of these lanes where both farming heroes are going to be very unhappy. Ice, as well as that Night Stalker being played by Mirakel. Because as we look at the tri-lanes, we have Lacoste and Akke, two very good harassing heroes, the Windrunner and the Crystal Maiden. And then the Keeper of the Light Earthshaker combo, very long range, spammable harassment. I wouldn't be surprised at all if neither of these players get much farm. And already Illuminate, Fissure, wow, look at the damage! Akke drops below half, and iceiceice thinking about the chase. He's not going to.
Easy. Just how easy that combo is, right? Illuminate from the back, they can't even see it coming. A long range Fissure, and of course a Spectral Dagger for half HP of Crystal Maiden. They gotta do it like 2 more times, and Crystal Maiden's out of regen.
I just want to point out this body block of, oh my god, great play here from CLG. That was Lacoste microing his Windrunner illusion, blocking the camp and forcing out a sentry ward from xfreedom, who thought the camp was actually warded. Really nice sort of mind games going on there.
Forcing out 2 sentry wards. Oh yeah, they're like, what is going on with our camp? Eventually they'll find out, oh, well, something happened.
Yeah, 200 gold.
They're
for
gonna
nothing.
get a pull off, and that's the important thing for Radiant, right? They gotta get the pull off. They require to have that option dive into the jungle. But also with that said, if you actually lose the Keeper in the lane, you're not gonna be in trouble because you still have the Earthshaker Fissure. So this is actually a well-crafted tri-lane here.
Well, let's take a look at our other 2 lanes. Have not had a chance to talk about that. Lumi, give me a shout if action breaks out bottom. But we have hyhy on that Tinker going up mid against Misery. Misery opting for 2
Breaking
points.
out now, Fissure, Illuminate, and again half of HP for Miracle gone. Very surprised to not see the Spectre dropping off that dagger as well, but a lot more HP left. In this lane, you can never really know. I'm not sure if a shout will be enough because the action is going to break out so fast.
Alright, here's the thing, right? They're harassing really effectively, but Spectre has 2 creeps. And let's not kid ourselves. Spectre needs a lot of farm. You can try and go for the Vanguard, maybe the Diffusal Blade, and not go for the big items like the Radiance, but it's still a hero that requires a hell of a lot of farm. Okay, middle lane, hyhy is winning this lane so far. 9-4 for him, only 7-1 on Misery, and this is in large part due to the fact that Misery went for the Quas build. Looks like it should be, or 2 early points of Quas. Looks like he will be going for Wex later on. You normally don't see Exhort with so many points of Quas. But this means he'll have a little bit more trouble last hitting, and Tinker's having a good start. Up top, it's Loda face off against pajkatt, and so far, pajkatt farming really well, in spite of having a pretty difficult matchup.
Yeah, I mean, Nature's Prophet lasted fairly decently, but he's not the best harasser in the game, so pajkatt could actually go up to the creep in melee range and not have too much to worry about. Akke roaming around to the mid lane here, and those 2 points of Quas is going to be pretty big, and they see hyhy, perhaps we're going to get a first blood right here down to half HP. Frostbite being dropped, and here we go. The blind actually doing some work. Tornado is going to pick up it in the air. The salve gets cancelled. That would be enough. Getting a salve and a couple of tangles and forcing him to go back, but hyhy as well as the Invoker both have to burn their own salve, so quite expensive a gank for both parties.
Yeah, we'll drive Tinker back to the fountain. Of course, Misery not nearly as concerned about that. He does have 2 points of Quas. It's going back for Wex, so EMP Tornado will be the choice. Against Keeper of the Light, I mean, the mana burn isn't going to be the biggest deal. A pair of Arcane Boots on Earthshaker would be very helpful, but as you look at the rest of the supporting cast, there aren't too many heroes that are really going to build Arcane Boots. I suppose Keeper of the Light can, but it's not something we normally see out of him.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like EMP Tornado is always very good against global heroes. They come up out of nowhere, and you want the range, you want the mobility that Wex provides you. So I think it's a very, very nice build. Misery checking for the top rune, but the two enemy hero coming in. Meanwhile, on the bot here, we have a haste rune being picked up by Akke, and the harass goes on. Crystal Maiden living that dream, doing that right click DPS.
That was,
not too much
I think that almost tickled. He's just not taking that. There you go, Frostbite, that's gonna hurt a little bit. By the way, he's gone for Desolate, not going for Dispersion. Just, I mean, this is total Zenith, right? This is how they like to play. Very aggressive offensive build. But he will be squishier, and against the nuke tower of CLG, it's a dangerous proposition to go this route. So far, no blood being spilled, and I'm not sure if we're gonna see any. A lot of harassment potential. Oh, here they go. Iceiceice, shackle shot, latching on two, power shot as well. Fissure not perfect, but might be enough. Illuminate, going the other way. Mirakel dropping low. Miracle still alive, so is Lacoste. XY trying to give chase, salva by Iceiceice. He wants back in. Keeper of the Light gives him a little bit of mana. He's gonna get the first blood, unless Tinker gets it first, which he does. Akke also on the back foot. Miracle gonna have to suicide here to neutrals. Dagger is available, not being used just yet. Double kill coming up for Zenith, and a great start for them. Fissure, couple more auto attacks. One more would do the trick, and he gets it. Zenith with 3 kills, not even reaching their global status just yet. Prophet didn't even join the fight, but they made it work anyway.
Well, how did Tinker get here? I didn't see him if he hasted bot or he just walked there.
I believe he TP'd in. He didn't get the rune because CM took it.
I don't think he TP bot. If you look at TP Swirl right now, it's not on cooldown, so...
maybe he just walked then, because he didn't have a haste. That was taken by CM.
So I don't know how he ninja his way down there. Recall's not available, neither is booty travel. So, you know, even before the global, it's already kind of global, and that Tinker just won them the team fight completely. Without the Tinker, they would not have gotten any of those kills, to be honest.
Right, and the 3 points of missile doing so much work in that fight. Hitting multiple heroes and just DPSing them down. This is the danger of the tri-lane. Now, I mean, they're not... this is still a very strong tri-lane, especially at nighttime. But they're going to have some trouble here if Tinker or Prophet show up again. Could easily see the CM get picked up. Probably not the Windrunner or the Night Stalker, but CM will be a very vulnerable target.
Yep, and they're pinging the hell out of that CM, at least for now. Meanwhile, here's the DD Windrunner coming in as well. Also want to point out that Windrunner, playing as a support, really required those farm as well as experience, and currently she's not getting it. This trialing has not gotten anything done. Well, aside from going 0-3, we saw what happened yesterday when trialing goes 0-3. In that WE versus CLG game, it just doesn't look pretty. So let's see if CLG is going to have a bit of come at me, bro. Only Zenith.
Alright, this is a Night Stalker, but he's only level 4. He doesn't even have his boots yet. He does have the gold for them. A little surprised Miracle's not spending that gold. But either way, he's holding on to it for the moment. And, well, without boots, Night Stalker is actually not that fast. So he won't be diving anytime too soon.
So earlier you were talking about the fact that Spectre probably is not going to get too much from him and have a great Illuminate and Fissure perhaps? No Fissure, and that's when you have a little bit messed up a teleport here from Loda. I think this is kind of a overzealous, but I think they can transition into a push if they want to.
Yeah, he's got his ult.
No, he's going to get up. Yeah, well, I mean, this lane is not the best pusher, I feel like. Illuminate might seem to be good, but it's level 1, so...
Well, here's the other problem. CLG had some great anti-push of their own. Even level 2 power shots, still decent for clear out the creep wave. So, the creeps are basically being massacred on both sides, and then there's just nothing left to work on the tower. But up top, it's pajkatt, level 8, 49-2. Out of control farm for him, working on this tier 1. He might even get it. Not able to resummon the wolves for the moment. Bottom lane, middle lane. Tinker takes a fall. Akke very low. Miracle taking the tower. Oh my goodness, but there's the early earn. Lycan gets to kill the tower up top, and pajkatt is filthy rich. That's going to be an 8-minute, maybe an 8.5 minute Vlad's as well as Medallion. This is not the start you want to give away to a Night Stalker, or a Lycan, I should say.
Always sad to see a low HP Crystal Maiden roaming around when Spectre's not 6, and Prophet did not have mana for that ult, so it's a free Crystal Maiden. Free 200 gold on a stick, just walking away, and
I mean, she really should be the one that's miserable this game,
right?
Up against this global strat. But for the moment, they're just like you said, they're don't up the levels. Iceiceice finally hit 6, but no mana on him. Keeper of the Light can probably help with that if he ever shows back up bottom. For the moment, he's mid. And HY, let's see how he's doing. Still no boots of travel. Sure, he got the kill bottom, but he's about 1,300 gold away from us. Quite a ways off, I gotta say.
And the ganking party comes. Akke with the illusion rune's gonna swing here, but I think that was spotted by a pair of wards, so he should be okay. But what doesn't change is pajkatt is gonna continue to pressure it. I don't think at this point Prophet will be enough to hold him back, so we're gonna see a rotation soon, or this tier 2 is gonna go down. I think a tier 2 going down against Lycan this early is never a good sign. Prophet's again expecting the Crystal Maiden come, but perhaps it's gonna come to a mid lane.
They're looking for the backstab.
Look at this check. The micro here with the tree and just in the trees.
So ninja, great play by Loda. Covering himself. Who needs wards when you have treants?
There you go. Movable wards. Now, one thing you were mentioning earlier is that Spectre's not going to get too much farm in lane. I feel like she's one of those heroes that even if you don't get too much farm early on, you can still get farm during the mid game and still help your team out with the team fight. And of course that goes back to why Haunt is making her one of the more unique carries here on the game. And this applies basically from minute 6 to minute 88, or whenever this game ends. So it's he's going to be fine in terms of getting some farm.
Top lane. Backstab, maybe incoming from Mirakel, waiting in the wings. Loda, great position again, as well as the Treant scouting things out, but they're going to dive anyway. They don't care. Medallion, Spectre ultimate use. Loda will take a fall. Is anyone else going to go down? Taker joins the fight. Akke will go down first. pajkatt on the way out. He should be just fine. Nightstalker as well. And we're seeing a hint of the tower diving potential that CLG have. Sure, Zenith have that global ability to sort of counter gank and pick you off, but CLG can get in and out of a fight in a hurry. 1-for-1 trade. Profit for a Crystal Maiden. CLG will take that.
Yeah, CLG would definitely take that. That was a 3-for-4 exchange, or excuse me, a 3 versus 4 fight as well. Massive amount of TP went to the Radiant side, and they still got an even trade for CLG. CLG very happy with that. Winner getting some EXP. And now Lycanthrope in the pit, and with Medallion up, he's going to do quite a bit, but perhaps overextending. He doesn't have his ultimate form anymore. Fissure blocking perhaps on the wrong side. Oh no! Looks like the Rocket is going to do the job here. Nova onto 2, and looks like the Tornado picks up just Loda in the air. Half HP is Loda, the bite on XY, and right now CLG a little bit kind of messy in terms of seeing by Miracle, very low in terms of HP, has earned, can run back in just a bit. But for now, I think, well, 1 for 2, even though you lost your Lycan. It's an okay exchange.
Well, Zenith do delay that Roshan attempt, but it's an expensive delay. Miracle tried to come in for Freedom, but Freedom will drop a level 2 Illuminate and drive him back. Or will he? Miracle maybe not done yet, wants a little bit more. Despite not having a very good start, Miracle has been pretty active around the map. 2-1-1. He was in the tri-lane. His tri-lane was not doing well. He had a very late earn, pretty late boots as well, but still making things happen. Now he's level 7. And that's really what Nightstalker needs, just that maxed out Void. You would definitely like to have Hunter in the Night maxed. He hasn't opted for Point and Crippling Fear. That is quite unusual, especially against Zenith's lineup. A lot of casting heroes, but he's opting to skip it for now.
Meanwhile, the warding and dewarding is all around this Roche area. Here comes Lycan again, gonna be going into the jungle, or excuse me, going into the Roche pit. And the Radiant, they just know. They know, like, what's up, but what are they gonna do about it? Spectre at this point, Spectral Dagger into the pit. That does give sight, if I remember correctly. So they do see this going on. They want to clear down this tier 1 perhaps. They won't have enough time to use an EMP Tornado against the Shaker. A lot of his 8 mana is drained, and Roshan is just very, very low at this point. Lycan is going to get the Roche.
He's out of wolves. The hero will be tanking, but in comes Nightstalker as well. And this is that Dire advantage working. For giving away Lycan, not only giving the Lycan away, but giving away to the Dire. Well, pajkatt with the great start secures an Aegis, a lot of gold for his team, and no trade-off for Zenith. They don't even get a tower. Maybe they should have tried to pressure top because middle was just not happening. CLG can sort of perform 2 functions at once, kill 2 birds with 1 stone, protect the Lycan and defend the push mid. Perhaps a bit of a mistake there from Zenith. In the end, Aegis going to Lycan.
Yeah, I know. I completely agree with you. You brought out the lack of trades, and this team is the middle name of this team is trade because they have 4 heroes that could get wherever the hell they want to get. Right? In theory, they should be all over the map right now. If they're not going to contest a Roshan, they should get at least 2 tier 1 towers or at least damage them. But nothing really happened.
There's still no Boots of Travel, and Tinker 13 minutes in. He just hasn't had very good farm. 36, he has Shackle on the low to top lane, power shot, a lot of damage on him. He will take a fall. Nova cleans that up. And Akke's going to be happy about that. Almost enough for that Bracer or another set of wards, and boy, does he need to tank up as much as possible. I gotta say, I mean, Zenith's lineup's so powerful if they get to the mid game with those items. But right now, they're just not there yet, and CLG are not really giving them a chance to farm, a moment to breathe. Look at pajkatt farming the enemy jungle, driving the enemy heroes out of their own jungle with those wolves, while the hero heads towards the bottom lane to do some farming. Constant pressure, like you said. Not only in the top lane, but now in the bottom lane and the Radiant jungle as well.
Alright, here comes the Lycan Wolf against iceiceice. Iceiceice, despite having the Vanguard, is going to be running away, and Lycan is just securing the farm. Lycan, as you mentioned, farming out of his mind right now. 77 CS, none of it being neutral. One of them being the biggest neutral in the game, though. He's doing quite well, and he's got 200 gold in the bank. Perhaps going for a Necrobook, perhaps going for a BKB. What do you reckon here?
I'm not sure. I mean, he's so far ahead that maybe just getting the extra push power would be better. Zenith can't really deal with that Necro Warrior. The BKB, it's great, but it does scale off pretty hard as the charges wear off, as you eat through them in the early game. So perhaps he'd be better off just getting the Necro 3 now, and then go back for the BKB later on, when Zenith have more nukes, more spam coming out from the Tinker, more levels into those abilities. We'll have to see what Route 2 wants to go, but I do feel this is one of those situations, Lumi, where you really can't make a mistake. Iceiceice, Windrunner charges in. She's been catching up in terms of levels, not really in farm. Look at the global presence, though, and they're going to make a go here. Nope, TP gets cancelled, they're not. Mirakel, meanwhile, pressuring the top lane, so it is kind of pressure wars on all sides of the map.
Yeah, Tinker, by the way, has that Breach of Travel finish just barely. You know, 15-minute Breach of Travel, not the best time, but it'll do in a game like this. Now the global is actually fully online. Meanwhile, in the mid lane here, a kill goes on against Crystal Maiden, very low hyhy. Crystal Maiden ultimate, yes! Yes, the creep kills her, but still.
Okay, I gotta say, perhaps a little bit overeager by hyhy. TPing into some, I believe those were treants or creeps behind the enemy tier 1. 2 heroes already there. Loda, nice little sprout to block himself off from Mirakel. Mirakel thinking about going in? No, just gonna farm. That ult was used, so once darkness wears off, that will free things up. But in the meantime, the glyph down, pajkatt pressuring that middle lane. So final, or no, it's only the second tier 1, but it will be dropping. pajkatt last hits it. 1,200 gold in the bag. Power treads, Vlad's, as well as the medallion. We're seeing an absolutely untouched Lycan balling out of control. Level 11, 60 minutes in, got the Roshan for his team, knocked down 2 tier 1s, and has been pressuring the enemy heroes in the meantime.
Yeah, whatever strategy the Zenith is doing right now, it's gotta come online soon. Miracle diving here, gonna get yet another kill. Silence against XY. Miracle perhaps a little bit trapped, quick quelling blade out. No, oh no, big echo here against Miracle. Miracle being surrounded, but pajkatt in position to get 1 kill. He's gonna be looking for a little bit more. No, he's gonna back off. A little bit defensive play for pajkatt, but it's fine. 1 for 2 trade, Miracle trading his life for 2 supports. I think they'll take that one, especially if Lycan is getting the kills.
Right, and you know, it's not just the kill trades. Even if it was even, they're forcing out those big ultimates. The Prophet ult, well, that wasn't there actually, but Spectre ult, Tinker TP'd in. These are heroes that need to get some farm going in their own right, and sure, maybe you trade evenly, but Windrunner free farm in the bottom lane, middle lane, Misery going to be getting his farm on. By the way, 4 staff as well as phase boots picked up, and an ultimate orb. He's getting really fat as well.
Another tower gets picked up here by pajkatt, 2,100 gold. Still don't know what he's going to be buying.
Good.
Yeah, Ultimate Orb, you should mention, being picked up by Misery. I mean, the global is great and all, but when is it coming back online? Or when is it going to come online the first time? Well, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, that's the thing is, even when they use these global ultimates, they're not chaining them together because, you know, they might have already used one to try and get a kill. They just haven't had that great fight with Prophet ult, Fissure, Keeper of the Light, Illuminate, Spectre ult. You know, they haven't comboed everything up, and it's not really that strong if you don't, because look at CLG, they're getting items, they're getting levels. The only squishy one right now, at least the easy kill, is that Crystal Maiden. And even she's been doing okay for the most part.
Again, I just don't feel like this is a global wombo combo, that kind of lineup. They're not going to just drop every ult and win a team fight. Wrath of Nature and Spectre Han is great, but they don't blow people's HP away. Shackle shot and Tornado at the same time, and the power shot. Huge miscommunication here from CLG, and perhaps he's going to be in a little bit of trouble. He has the 4 staff, so it should be okay. Meanwhile, lacoste is going to TP out. Big bad Lycan's in the fight, and now everybody should run. EMP gets dropped here. The Wolves alone, just scaring 3 or 4 heroes away. Jeez, these Wolves are insane. And then now Lycan just going to farm 2 feet away from the team fight.
And again, look what's happening while that's going on. Night Stalker just farming away up top. Crystal Maiden doing some warding up towards the top side of the map. See it, Zenith, every time there's a fight, they send 5. CLG only 2 or 3, and still at least breaking even, if not winning those fights. And well, we see it reflected in the gold graph and the experience graph. Pretty substantial leads for CLG on both fronts.
Yeah, the 2 different kinds of mobility here. I think it's favoring CLG. CLG's mobility.
Oh, gets chopped up by the wolf. And that's a death for a Spectre who's already having a pretty bad time.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
You were saying 2 different kinds of mobility.
2 different kinds of mobility. CLG working for a little bit more of a short distance mobility. Does that make sense? You know, you have heroes
we'll
that
call it local mobility.
yeah, logo mobility. You have heroes that run around quite quickly. Night Stalker, Pajkatt, Wolf Form, Wex Invoker, the Windrunner, right? With Windrunner. Meanwhile, you have CLG as Zenith. Look at Miracle and then hyhy just fighting over in the jungle. Miracle should be absolutely fine. Meanwhile, tier 2 goes down the bot lane. Pajkatt lasts this one as well. Is that 4 tower assets?
Well, yeah, it's only 4. I think they've only got 4, so that would be 4. But goodness gracious, that's about 2k extra gold into his bank. Iceiceice uses the ult just to head bottom to farm at his own tier 3. Was trying to scare off Miracle up top, but Miracle comes back in. Phase boots, Void, bunch of right clicks, great vision though, and Miracle has overextended. This time, they used one Spectre ult, but aside from that, that's a bit of an overextension. Okay, Lumi, so you're running this global strat. Here's the problem. Wards all over the map, you have no towers, and you don't really have heroes that can just TP off and farm on their own. If Prophet or the Tinker, any of these heroes gets caught, they're probably gonna die. Oh, bottom lane. hyhy cold snapped up, big damage. Tornado is gonna catch Keeper of the Light. Will they give chase? They won't. They back off. But another pick off.
I think CLG is playing perfectly. They're using how quickly their hero is moving around the map to win these fights. If they see the 5 hero come in from the enemy global strat, they back off because they're that much quicker. The enemy team lack the lockdown. Meanwhile, if you're Zenith, I think the globalness is actually hurting them right now. They see one of the teammates, in a little bit of trouble, and suddenly everybody TPs in. But because CLG is so quick, they can run away. And then you're gonna be, well, a little bit annoyed because you have 3 or 4 heroes in one side of the map doing basically nothing.
Yeah.
After chasing a hero away, you're not pushing down towers. You're not really farming that quickly. Meanwhile, CLG is spreading the map open. They're farming. And if you look at the go chart, it's on a different story right now. A lot of it's in the towers, but if you look at the last hits as well, Radiant is losing out by quite a bit.
Oh, Fissure hits on 2. Miracle and Misery will back up for the moment. You know, it makes me wonder, maybe, bottom lane, iceiceice getting caught out by that big bad wolf. He will live, but again, forced to TP back, not getting much farm. And you gotta wonder, how much more does CLG need before they try and go high ground? Pajkatt, Necro 2 is up. Roshan will be respawning soon. He's never even had to use the Sages, but the gold certainly helped out. But yeah, of course. But back to your point, I mean, maybe something like an Ancient Apparition would have been better than Keeper of the Light. Sure, you don't have a reliable disable on your own, but you combo it up with Fissure, or any of Earthshaker's other stuns, and then you're looking at some reliable chain stun to deal with the Lycan, to deal with the Night Stalker. Keeper of the Light doesn't give you that.
Well, Keeper of the Light does give you Blinding Light, which we haven't seen too. I think we've seen like 1 so far. Blinding Light can never be underestimated. Keeper of the Light will also give you very strong counter pushing. But right now, I mean, even if they get strong counter pushing, they've lost 4 towers already. Simply because it's just the Lycan pushing you. It wasn't like a big creep wave or anything like that. It's just Lycan. They haven't been able to deal with that one particularly.
Right, it's the Lycan, and to some degree, it is the pressure that the Night Stalker is putting on. I feel like that's the 2 main components of the strategy. Top lane, Loda will TP out. They can't even get a tier 1 man. Look at this. I mean, they try and go top. 2 heroes are there, and Misery alone drives them back. Bottom lane, Miracle he doesn't give 2 hoots. He's applying a lot of pressure to iceiceice. Here's maybe the ray of hope for Zenith, is iceiceice not too far away from his relic. It will be late, but not absolutely atrociously so. Miracle running for his life. What a Sprout! Are you kidding me? Oh my god, that was the longest range Sprout I have ever seen. No Fissure, it's cooling down, 3 seconds to go. Mech, perfectly placed by Lacoste. Miracle will live in spite of that Sprout. I believe 1 more dagger is needed. They're not going to find it. Oh boy. Again, 4 or 5 heroes.
They have Haunt.
No mana.
The Chakra Magic will be dropped onto iceiceice. No, he's too far away. You know what the issue is with this lineup? They just don't have enough stuns. I think I mentioned that earlier. They have Fissure and a Sprout. That's it.
Right, and that's where maybe a cold beat would help out a lot.
Right next to the tier 2 on the bot lane, and he's on the top lane, next to the tier 1 as well, tier 2 at halftime. Like, he's not afraid, because there's just no stuns against him.
Oh, Tinker. TP out! Oh, just in time. Tornado whizzing by right as he escapes. That was a close call. Well, we haven't really looked at item progression in a while. What do we see for Zenith? Iceiceice about 2k gold at this point. Tinker's had the boots of travel for a while. Still working on the Force Staff. He doesn't have it yet. They're not getting the items up, and that's another problem. I mean, sure, this is a global team, but a global team that requires a lot of items. Tinker, Prophet, and Spectre all need the big items, and they're not getting them. There's nowhere to farm. What do you do at this point? I mean, what do you do at this point?
And that's really ironic to say, right? You have a Tinker, you have Prophet. You should have the entire map to you as farm, but a little bit too afraid to run out because everywhere they go, Misery is firing a tornado at you. There's just too many stuns on one side of the map and very little on the other side. You can see iceiceice trying to farm, but he has to just TP out. Is he gonna make it? Crystal Maiden comes in with a frostbite. Iceiceice overextending.
Oh boy. Then comes the TP top. Looks like Loda just wants to farm the neutrals, but Lacoste may have spotted him out. We'll have to see. No, does not have vision. But we'll have to see if he actually runs into Loda. This is a close call. He's also kind of surrounded here. This is this is pretty funny, but for the moment, not amounting to a whole lot. And you're right, there's nowhere to farm, and it certainly doesn't help the Spectre that there's a Prophet and a Tinker constantly pushing the lanes out. I mean, it's making his life really difficult.
Well, is the Tinker and Prophet pushing a lane out? I don't know. They haven't even seen the
creep,
I feel like, for
to some degree. Look at this right now. Top lane, HY, TPs and spams March. This is happening not just top, but in multiple lanes. Prophet isn't really using the ult. For the most part, Loda's in the jungle, but the Tinker especially. I mean, he doesn't have options. He can't farm Ancients because he doesn't have the towers protecting him mid. He doesn't have the tower protecting him top. There's really nowhere for these players to go. And like you said, it's pretty ironic that that's the case.
CLG should be pushing right about now, right? I feel like they are not dropping as much pressure as they can be. They are so much stronger, I feel like, in this part of the game. But for now, they're kind of just chilling. Necro, perhaps they're going to look for the tier 2 mid. I think tier 2 mid is a good choice.
I mean, maybe they want to wait for a couple more big items. BKB on pajkatt, not too far off. Miracle, gem up on him. Vanguard as well. Does he have anything on the courier? Nope, nothing on that, but looks like something will be purchased momentarily. Windrunner as a mech, not a whole lot else. I mean, I feel like they could go for more items. Misery going for the Scythe device. Oh, he's got it now. That's a big item pickup. More lockdown, and for a team that already has quite a lot in their own right. If CLG want to farm this, look at the gold graph. They are accelerating away, not too rapidly, but I think fast enough. Zenith are not getting up to core items, and by the time they do, CLG is going to have that next set, so I don't really think there's too much of a rush.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're up against the Spectre. I know he's not farming the best, but Spectre right now sitting at 2,400 gold. He's trying to get up to that Relic and Radiance, although I'm not sure how much that Relic and Radiance will actually do. Spectre only 100 CS at this point, meanwhile Lycanthrope 154, 145 on the Prophet. I mean, Tinker, by the way, just really slow in terms of farm. Night Stalker very slow in terms of farm as well, but he's a Night Stalker. Farm is not really a thing. Gem already being picked up, so right now, Night Stalker and his team really want to get map control, deny every single ward on the map, and now this is going to be a big bait trying to be set up against Tinker, perhaps?
Maybe. We'll have to see if it works out. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Oh no, Loda sets up a shackle for Lacoste. Oh my goodness, that might live. In comes Spectre, Echo, and Miracle. Chase continuing, but they just don't have the damage. They're going to be forced back. The big backstab coming in. pajkatt, DD rune picked up. Gonna go on Freedom. Very indecisive here. Finally focuses Freedom. Loda TPing out with 21 HP. Fissure goes on, and they just don't have the damage. They can't tank. They don't have the lockdown to deal with this Night Stalker in his prime, out of control. And they're gonna get wrecked, possibly off of this. Age is still available. Mech cooling down in 10 seconds, 15 seconds. Sight device still up. If CLG don't run racks, maybe they'll take a tier 2 instead. That was a scary team fight.
Keeper bought back with 15 seconds left on his death timer. I have no idea what the headwind's about, but he's kissing a lot of go goodbye. He's sitting in the mid lane waiting for that push to come, but will a single Illuminate defend this? And my guess is no, because the single Illuminate's nowhere enough. Look at Miracle just waiting on the wing, sees XY. XY gonna get shackled up, but no one about. Oh my god, look at these spells. Pajkatt, by the way, ultimate back online. He's level 16, so the ultimate has such a long duration, such a low cooldown. Another tower, it's not the 5th or 6th. I'm not sure if he lasted the top one.
I don't think he's missed one. He might have missed that top tier 2, but he's gotten every other one. At least 5, if not 6. 2,500 to 3,000 gold, maybe even a little bit more than that. Just for the tower last hits. Forget about the creeps, forget about the Roshan gold. Not that they're forgettable, but that's almost as much gold as Spectre has seen this entire game. At least half of it, just from towers. Middle lane, Misery with the Scythe device. Goes on to HY. Big cold snap, Void Tornado, he's dead. Zenith cannot leave the base, and this is a team that is just not used to playing from behind, from being the ones on the back foot. They don't really know how to deal with it, or at least are not adapting well this game. Earthshaker getting picked off outside the base. The same for Tinker. Not that I'm saying Turley would be any better, because they let Lycan get onto the high ground, and this tower is going to start melting.
Blinding, lighting, a little bit of work, Illuminate, Fissure, just again, all the barrage spell being dropped on Miracle. Here's some Sahan. Will Miracle actually go down? I think he will. Gem
That's
gets
a
dropped
gem.
on the ground. Han comes in from iceiceice. Wrong place, bro. Wrong place. He's gonna just run back in with the cold snap plus pajkatt BKB. The hex on him as well. Iceiceice will he get dead? Yeah. He's dead. Vanguard not doing too much, but the big illuminate will actually bring him down. And will Lycan be okay? The fissure on top. akke gets fissure up.
No quelling blade.
Quite a bit. Oh, he sold his quelling blade as well. Xfreedom though in big trouble. Freedom's gonna go down. That's yet another couple kill for pajkatt. And the push remains.
Well, we'll have to see. March the Machines, Rocket Spam may force them back. Sprout, Fissure being held for the moment. Tornado comes through. Not gonna hit. Where is the damage? pajkatt is just laughing at these auto attacks. XY, oh man, that is not your base. He gets shackled up. He will go down. Laser gonna slow down pajkatt, but if he wants to just chase and wait for that laser to wear off, he could. No, he's just gonna farm the creeps. Now, Misery is very low. Lacoste as well. Maybe he should ferry a couple salves or just head back to heal up. Spectre respawning. Roshan a few minutes away. CLG do lose an Aegis, as well as a Night Stalker, so perhaps they'll wait for the next Roshan. But if they want to do so, really, what can Zenith do about it?
Nothing. They could use their global and not farm because the lane's constantly pushed out. So what do you do against a global team that can't really push, nor farm, nor hero kill? Again, they have a fissure. That's all their stun. Really want you to LD if you can. Pull down the total goal earn menu, and just look at that graph. Look at those bars.
Oh
it's
my
not favoring
goodness.
the big inside at all. Right now,
Lycan's
Lycan's almost doubling the gold of Spectre. That's just not where you want to be.
I feel even worse is the fact that Invoker is out farming a Prophet with a Midas and an Aghanim's. That is just something you don't see happening very often. Invoker's not a horrible farmer by any means, but he is not a Prophet with an Aghanim's. Just that it really does tell the tale in this case, that total gold earn grab. And pajkatt, what do you go for now? You have all the basics. Now you go for your luxury. And Scythe up on ice. This is the hero you want to pick off, and he will go down. Melts in a couple of crits. pajkatt really does not care. Tornado cancels the TP. XY will be the next to fall. One more, two more right clicks. That's all it takes. There you go. And Lacoste with a haste run as well.
You weren't so damn.
It feels like CLG have all the mobility. The Wex Invoker, the Lycan running around, sprinting around the map. Windrunner with a haste run and generally pretty mobile herself. Akke is a bit slow, but aside from that, I mean, CLG are the more mobile team. It's crazy to say because they aren't the global team, but they might as well be.
I mean, I feel like Akke is playing decently. He's only got 3 deaths. Considering that he's up against a global squad, that's pretty good. Mech gets popular. The Illuminate is actually doing a lot. You see Miracle just down to no HP. It is actually quite difficult to push against this.
I think they
Rocket,
need a pipe.
Illuminate, Fissure, and Marcher Machine, right? That's insanely difficult to push against. I like that to see Akke to actually pick up a Urn on the Crystal Maiden. They're getting so many kills that
Night
the Urn is
already has
very helpful.
Night Stalker already has one, so we'll have to see.
Makes sense.
Also very late for one, but either way, Spectral is used just for some scouting. Oh, he actually comes in. I'm not sure iceiceice can actually kill these heroes. Oh, we might see a turnaround. The Dispersion doing a decent amount of damage. Not going to be enough, though. There goes the Scythe device, the right clicks. Ice overextends again, and we are seeing Zenith just time and time again go for these aggressive plays when they don't have the heroes, the items, or the game position to be able to do it.
Yeah, Ice also a lot more aggressive this game than I usually... Well, he's usually a very aggressive player, but he's jumping in 1v3 with freaking Spectre. Oh, that's the second and third time he did it. I'm not sure exactly what the mindset is, but it's definitely making him pay, and a lot of...
You know what I mean? It's just like he wants to make a play. Like, I feel that's the mindset. He just wants to make something happen for his team. It's understandable, but it's not happening.
It's not happening, not against 3 heroes at once. When he has just a Vanguard, I think it's time to give up on this relic because it's not coming. And even when it comes, it's a little bit too late.
I'm pretty sure he could have had a Diffusal Blade by now with all the gold he's lost trying to save for it, so I'm with you. Maybe even more than just the Diffusal Blade. That would help quite a bit. Akke would take a lot of damage from that. The illusions do mono burn when you ult, and you don't even really have to go in to drive heroes back. The one item CLG is lacking in my book, you mentioned the Urn. Miracle has one, hasn't had too many charges as of late, but I feel like they really need either a pipe or mass BKBs to go high ground. Sure, the March will still damage you through the mass BKBs, but nothing else will. The Spectre ultimate won't really affect you. The Tinker rockets, the Fridger, the Illuminate, that will all be ignored by BKBs. Or, like I said, just go for the pipe. For the moment, they're just going to go Roche. And this is as easy a Roche as you'll ever see. Alacrity on pajkatt, Aegis on him, immediate smoke, great play by CLG. And they're going to head bottom looking for some kills.
Yeah, I think Pipe is exactly what they need. Although they're getting some PKB as well. When Crystal Maiden finish her PKB, the game's gonna be over. Mark my words. She's like 1,000 go away from it. That's how crazy this game is. Again, using the great stun and great long range, this defensive capability of Zenith, they're holding on for now, but they're not gaining any type of ground. As quickly as Prophet's farming, Radiant's farming twice as, or Dire's farming twice as fast.
And he goes for a Necro 1 here. Very late timing for a Necro Bulk, and the mindset obviously from Loda, try and stall the game, split push, force some TPs back, maybe even die a few times, but do anything you can to buy time for Spectre, to buy time for Tinker. The question is, how much time can he really buy? He is a pretty easy kill, even having that Necro 1, as well as the Agatims. Some decent HP, but before the might of this wolf, he will melt in a matter of seconds. By the way, 4k gold up on pajkatt. If he wants that Abyssal Blade, he is very close.
Oh, here comes the push on the mid lane. Although, again, it is very, very difficult to push against this. Like, they actually just can't go in. Misery's just losing a lot of HP to the March, to the Rocket. Yeah, he's gonna have to back off. Mech up just for him.
They just got a farmer pipe. I mean, it's
right. They just
pretty
got
clear.
a farmer pipe. He's gonna back off for now.
Which is
one
not a
thing I
problem.
also want to mention in this game is that very, very surprised to see not Acceptor being picked up on Nature's Prophet as well as a Refresh Orb. Hunt plus Refresher Acceptor Ultimate on Nature's Prophet is pretty cutesy.
Oh yeah,
Zenith is a team that likes to do cutesy things.
There was a great game that you actually cast in Dota 1. I want to say it was Aeon who went for that build with a Refresher Ags and a Spectre. And that Spectre had a better time, he had a Radiance up. They had a better start to the game, but that combination was really strong. HY. No, the Deafening Blast catch him out. He has buyback, but he really does not want to use it. Look at Misery's right clicks. Lycan, of course, a beastly right clicker. But Misery doing some big damage as well. That's just
Tinker buys back.
Immediately, too.
And they're going to set a gank on the bot lane. Unfortunately, Tinker's going to go down here.
Oh no! He just bought back!
Yeah? What is Zenith doing?
You've reached the end.
I mean, they want to push out the lanes. They want to stall the game as much
Are they
as possible.
trolling?
No, they're not. Come on, man. Shackle coming out from Lacoste. Loda held to a tree, but no backup. Loda may be able to TP out. That Void, it's coming in. Will he get it up? Not in time. But even there, he escapes, but only barely.
Tower is under attack.
I feel like these plays are just overall very, very questionable. Like,
listen, this is a team that doesn't play from behind very often, and it's a different mindset.
that's true. That's true. I'm glad you brought it up. There are teams out there, Mouseport in particular, who used to just they just either win a game in 20 minutes or they just flat out lose. I'm not saying Zenith is that, but you're right. They don't play from behind that often. Here goes pajkatt, goes into the base. Iceiceice is gonna get brought down. Blinding Light not gonna be enough to save iceiceice. BKB gets popped here on the Miracle as well. He's chasing away the Shaker. At this point, the Rax is fully breached. Look at how quickly our melee Rax is gonna go down. Lycan is just gonna run straight down 40 bot tower. Miracle taking some big damage. Again, the lack of stun holding him in place. He should be fine. There's just gonna be 2 lanes of Rax at least.
And no Tinker. They needed that March spam, the Rocket spam to defend this. Without him, it's an easy set of Rax, maybe more. Shackle latching 2 together. Loda and xFreedom. Look at the damage from Misery, right-clicking like an absolute boss. Already used the cheese, 4 staff away. They only get 1 set of Rax. They hold on for now. They're not entirely out of it, but with all the buybacks that have been forced, with the inability to leave the base, it feels like it's just a matter of time before that stool gets kicked out from under them and then Noose is going to strangle them to death.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, you have Prophet, you have Tinker, you can always get out of the base, but in reality, they are just too far behind in terms of items, level, and gold. It's just not going to work.
Well, the gold graph, the experience graph certainly suggested it's not going to. They are even chipping. It's not just the differential, it's the direction they're going, which is pretty much a vertical downward slope, the Grand Canyon, if you will, of gold graph. And here's a really bad sign for your team. When Akke is just calmly solo farming the mid lane, past where the tier 1 tower is, near the tier 2, and you're all hiding in the base, you pretty much forfeited at that point. This is a Crystal Maiden.
She has a BKB. She's not afraid.
Not that Akke should be. But it's not a good sign for Zenith. It's a sign of... I mean, goodness gracious. This is a pretty brutal stomping in the end, I gotta say. CLG just really outclassing Zenith in every department. To be fair, Zenith went for something cute, went for something a little bit unusual. But CLG is showing they're not afraid of that sort of strategy. They are prepared. And I doubt we're going to see pajkatt playing as Lycan next game. I can tell you that now.
I like to remind everybody that CLG went 0-3 against with the trialing. They went 0-3 on the bot lane. Generally, that means a death note, right? You're dead. this game's over. But
Right.
they recover magnificently.
We saw that yesterday when teams run tri-lanes, and that tri-lane on the offensive position fails. The game is pretty much over. I mean, sure, there have been comebacks, but they are relatively rare. Pajkatt just gonna let his wolves do some dirty work bottom lane, pressuring the tower. Assault Kuras picked up on him. Spectre ults in, everything being used just to force him back. This is very ambitious to try and kill Pajkatt. Sprouted in place. He can turn around, pop that BKB at the Necro, and probably just kill everybody. Oh, the Sprout is holding in place. Blade Mail and iceiceice. BKB gonna ignore that. Oh, iceiceice shoot up and spit out. Delicious little snack for Pajkatt, and now he's gonna go home and wash it down with a glass of Roshan. Maybe just some water. Or maybe not even run away. Maybe he's gonna go back in. Oh, God. In comes Misery.
Wash it down with a glass of Roshan blood because this guy is, well, Teamfight's gonna break out. Misery down to about half. He's surrounded by 2 or 3. Is there any hexes? Echo just cleaning miss. Oh no. Misery though, he is very low. A couple rocket lays. Oh! Nice
50 HP. Are you kidding? HY. That is not happening, my friend. Voided up. Hexed up. Windrunner has one as well, by the way, and down he will go. Multiple sites of Vice. Pajkatt with pretty much max inventory. This one's over, Lumi.
Yeah, it's not over now, but it sure ain't over. It's damn over at this point. Like, the Brax is gonna go down in just a second. Very surprised to see the Radiant team not calling GG just yet. But,
well, give them credit for their feisty spirit, but that feisty spirit is not going to do anything to resolve the numbers game here. Just the gold experience differential. Ice. One more feed before it's all said and done. He gets picked off quickly. A Dagon coming out from Freedom. That might turn things around. Oh, BKB by Akke. Huge ultimate. Chewing apart XY. Oh my goodness. This Crystal Maiden balling out of control. Loda's going to get picked up. Pajkatt's out for blood. He gets a triple kill. And that will be your third set of racks. Everybody on Zenith wiped. I don't think anybody is buyback at this point. And that should be time to call GG. Or just to lose your throne. However, whichever way you want to go about it.
So is it Lycan or is it the lineup that Zenith picked?
Well, let's just... it's hard to say, right? Because Pajkatt has had 2 Lycan performances back-to-back. Yesterday up against World Elite. But that was a quad lane axe. Very unusual game. And he got some good farm in that game as well. This game he had, I would say he had even better farm despite having an opponent in his lane. So
he lasted 5 towers. I say he had better farm, yes.
Right, even though last game, if you remember, he was literally, the lane was empty for him. But he farmed better this game, so maybe he just needs the pressure to put him into peak performance. But either way, both games having very easy lanes on for that Lycan and really no pressure being applied. Maybe it's the lineups more than anything else, but regardless, his Lycan is looking pretty scary. By the way, Divine Rapier up on Pajkatt. Oh, that's just rough.
Hitting for about 500?
Yeah, I wonder how much was he critting for? 170, probably about 800. Maybe a little closer to 900 with those crits. That's not counting the HAL damage. Yeah.
There's HAL involved. There's a minus armor involved from Assault Kuras. So he's,
might even be 1k. Might even be 1k plus.
1k is a good estimate. Let's see if it's gonna actually happen. Want to see these big crits from Pajkatt. Someone stand here and tank it.
He's kind of trolling here, refusing to actually kill the throne. Alright, I guess I'll end the game now. I think you guys had enough. Chops through one tower, chops through another. The dot from Anderson, and, well, dots or not. Pajkatt will be killing this throne, but maybe just needs a couple more kills.
Why no big crits? Where the hell's Zenith? They're on the bottom right-hand corner of the map. I didn't even point it out. But alright, good game. The game was hard.
It was a difficult game. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, this is a best out of 3. Both of these teams 2-0 in the group. Whoever wins this will sweep the group 3-0 and have that #1 seed. Get to skip that first round of the playoff brackets. You're watching Beyond the Summits World Tour. I am LD. He is Luminous. And we'll be coming back to you guys with Game 2 momentarily. Stay tuned for that.